First question will be from Rakabako.
Fredi, how would you say the club is handling this latest difficult stretch from what you've observed in the clubhouse and in the dugout?
You know what? I think our spirits are great. These guys are, they come in every day with the same, they're level-headed, you know, and I don't see a lot of ups and downs. They come in and get their work in. I think our coaching staff does great jobs. They do a great job keeping those guys that way. Donnie and Jose take care of the hitting guys, and they don't let those guys get down. And Holty and Holmes, they do a great job with the pitching. They come in level-headed every day, trying to get better and trying to win ball games. You know, at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do, win ball games. But I think we, you know, as coaches, you got to stay positive. You got to keep the energy going because they feed, you know, our team feeds off us.
Next question is from Rich Dubroff.
Fredi, what's your most important job?
My most important job is, you know, obviously I'm the sounding board for Hyder during the course of the game, but I've taken a new role that I am excited about doing it. I wanted to do it. I brought it up to Hyder right at the All-Star break, and having such a young team and having such a lot of players coming up and through the organization, through transactions, I've become almost like, for lack of a better term, I'm like the fundamental Nazi, right? If it's a cutoff and relays that's not done well, we break it down and make sure we go over it the next day. If there's a bunt defense that doesn't go well, we go over it the next day or the first day of the series. We've even covered rules in our meetings, and particularly the infield fly rule. And it's really close to my heart. If you guys, about 7 years ago with the St. Louis Cardinals in the playoffs. So we've covered it with the players. Because, you know, sometimes we forget these guys play the game, but they don't know the rules. So we pick up a rule every couple of days and we go over it, where it's the infield fly rule or the mechanics of it, or two guys covering two runners on the same base, and those things. So that is my role that I haven't done in a long time, maybe going back to my minor league days, but it's important, especially when you have a team that's kind of transitioning to play, you know, big league games and in the future. So I'm excited for that. I haven't done that in a long time, but it's a thing that I think it's close to my heart and it's important.
Next question is from Dan Connolly.
Fredi, you managed 10 years in the majors. You had 2 90-loss or more seasons in that entire time. Your worst losing percentage is right now Brandon's highest winning percentage for a season. Okay. He's had to deal with a lot of losing. How difficult is that as a manager? How difficult has it been on him? And kind of how do you bridge that, knowing, you know, what it's like to have, you know, those kinds of seasons?
And you're absolutely right. And I've dealt a lot of those losing seasons came in my last 3 to 4 years, right? My second to last year in Atlanta, and then you transitioning as a coach to Miami when I coached there in 17, 18, and 19. You know, we didn't have winning seasons. So I have dealt with a lot of losing here in the last 5 or 6 years of my career. And that's something that Hyder and I talk about all the time. And whether it's, you know, we talk about, hey, you just got to keep running the game. Run the game because people are watching. You just keep putting guys in positions you think they're going to be successful, and keep doing it that way. Because if not, it doesn't serve anybody any good purpose. People that are watching go, well, this guy doesn't know what he's doing managing, and the players are not taking advantage of you putting them in the right situation. So we have a lot of conversation about that. And you're right, there's been a lot of losing but there's also a lot of winning after those seasons, right? And you know, in 07, I took over the Marlins job, and I think we battled and scratched, and I can't remember, maybe we might have lost 90 games there. And then the next following years, we were in, you know, next 2 or 3 years, we kind of saw the fruits of our labor, right? We In 2009, we almost made the playoffs as a wild card in Miami. And in Atlanta, I took over a pretty good club. And then in 16, I start 9-28, I get fired. But then you saw a year later, you saw the Acuñas, you saw the Albies, the Swansons, their pitching staff, and now you see what the Braves are now, was in, I think, would have been 17 or 18. So there is always a silver lining with the losing. I think that we got to keep our heads and keep teaching and keep motivating these guys. But I think that as a coaching staff, I think the best thing we got to do is we got to be ourselves. We almost got to forget what happened last night, build on it, talk about some talking points today about what we can improve, and keep going forward. I think, not having a minor league season last year in 2020, I think that, not only us, but a lot of teams in the major leagues took a step backwards, because of the development of the younger players. But we weren't the only team that affected. Everybody else that was in the same boat. But, bringing up Richie Martin, we're getting Mateo, injecting some of this high athleticism in our lineup. That's exciting to come to the ballpark and watch those guys run around and sitting there and watching Mully. Cedric Mullins having a terrific year throughout a losing season. And he still stays the course and comes to play every day, and he's being successful. Those are good things to come to the ballpark and enjoy to watch.
Next question is from Nathan Ruiz.
Fredi, going off what you mentioned earlier about your role teaching fundamentals, does it surprise you at all that you have to do that as much as you need to with this team?
No, it's Nathan. It's not this team. It's not this team. It's throughout the Major League Baseball. For example, something just happened, last night. I'm watching Mateo at second base, right? And we had not a bunch, but we had 3 or 4 cutouts and relays opportunities. And I don't know how much he's played second base, right? So he's not in the right spot a lot of times. So I stayed up last night, went back to the hotel and looked up True Media. And True Media, I said, okay, I want to see triples. And just so I can see where the defense, the cutoffs and relays are happening around the league. It took me, if I saw 70 triples in the league, it took me 40 minutes to come up with like 5 good ones that other teams were running. So it's not only us, it's everybody's not in the right spot. And so finally I got 5 good ones, and I can't wait. I'm not going to show him today because he's playing short. I don't want to confuse him. But the next time he's playing second base, we'll bring it up and go over where he's supposed to be in positionally. But it's not us. It's not only us. I think it's the league, entire league. We see us because we see us 162. But if you watch games across the league, you see guys make mistakes left and right. And sure, the better teams cover it up, right? Because all of a sudden you make a fundamentally mistake, and somebody else hits a 3-run homer and covers it up, right? Or a pitcher strikes on the side after we threw the ball away. But it's across the league, and I think it's young players coming up in the big leagues really, really fast through organizations. And so instead of me just sitting there watching and go, oh hell, oh hum, I am gonna try to be the fundamental team that it was here in the past, right? You go back 5-6 years and you walk the halls there in Sarasota and you see J.J. Hardy with 2 or 3 Gold Gloves. I might have cheated him one. Markakis, you got Davis, you got Adam Jones, with Gold Gloves, and you see the way Jonathan Scopes plays defense and how well he is wherever he's playing first or second. Those things are I wanted to bring that pride back to this organization. And yeah, I'm going to be nitpicking, and I'm going to be, but we're going to do it the right way, and I'm going to bring it to the players the right way, and hopefully we'll keep learning, keep teaching.
Kind of just going off that, you have a lot of young guys getting an opportunity here, and guys who maybe wouldn't be getting opportunities elsewhere. How do you guys as a coaching staff kind of emphasize to them, like, hey, take advantage of this, make sure you're making the most of this?
All the time. I mean, I took Jorge Mateo aside the first day he got here, right? And this kid he hasn't really played in the last 2 or 3 years because he's been in like a couple different trades, right? And then he went to San Diego and sat the bench. And so I said, this is an opportunity of a lifetime for you to get a chance to play and get a chance to get some at bats and get better, you know? And so we emphasize that, you know, there's some guys, Tyler Wells, for example, Rule 5 guy, he's getting an opportunity to be with a big club the entire year and pitching well, right? He's doing a really good job. And so those opportunities with the New York Yankees or the Boston Red Sox, the Toronto Blue Jays don't happen. Or if they happen, it's really short period of time. And hey, you got to go back down to AAA because, whether you didn't do your job or we got somebody else who's got more experience and can do a better job.
All right, that is it for questions. Thanks, everyone, and thank you, Fredi.
All right. Thank you, guys.
We'll see you later.
Bye.